According to a commenter in one of my recent videos, my intros are the reason I'm single. I showed this to my wife, thinking she'd laugh, but sure enough, now I'm single. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath announces his eligibility to the single world. Just kidding, my wife would literally claw my eyeballs out if I did that, and that would be horrible. Because I still wouldn't be single after that, because she's too awesome. So, we're going to talk about what to farm next instead of how eligible I am. And there's a lot to talk about. Even though there's not been a lot of new announcements, I think the picture is a little clearer. So first, I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I really couldn't do this without you, and you are seriously, truly appreciated. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you got to do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Let's mount that algorithm, shall we? Mount the algorithm one more time. It's like a Britney Spears song. that's probably why I'm single. Oh, there's lots of reasons why I would be single, but I'm not. So let's see, we're gonna go through some of these fairly quickly because we do this every month, and some of them are just rehashes of what we used to have. So our main goal is always to get as much stuff as we can. We want to stay relevant though, folks, and make sure that our squads are good still. Sometimes squads suck, and we need to stop farming them because they suck, and there's no reason to work on them anymore. The people don't understand that, and they also don't understand that efficiency isn't always effective. That's not always the effective way to do things. I realize efficiency feels nice and it sounds nice. It's certainly a buzzword, but it's not always the most practical way to succeed in this game. And a lot of people laugh at my face virtually about that, but I do think that it's just the truth. If you want to get something amazing in this game, a lot of times you have to get it without being super efficient. Be efficient while being inefficient. There you go. There's a good buzzword. Narrator. It wasn't. So, I probably should have added a 1A to this list. One of the most important game modes, the current raid, probably the next raid is also extremely important. Honestly, folks, we gotta start looking at that. Fleet Arena, everything else. Fleet Arena is really important, and the Punishing One might change things a little bit there. The next Galactic Chase saves 6,000 crystals if you want to get it pretty soon. If it's not the next Galactic Chase, maybe it'll be a Conquest unit. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be a long ways out. We still have another month of Conquest. Maybe they'll announce it, but that's like another month away from right now, maybe even more. And so I would guess that it's a chase. It's a weird thing, like, is that gonna be the Ahsoka required ship? I have no idea, but I would recommend, like, kind of prioritizing it. It seems fairly important, and a lot of people already have a Relic 5 Dengar because he's required for other things. Now, the current raid, we're under this weird thing of pretty soon, we don't know exactly what the time frame is, but the next raid is, we're like halfway to the next raid already, kind of, and so when is it, like January or February of 2025? That's like almost perfectly in line with when we're gonna have Balin and Galactic Legend Ahsoka, aka Glat. And so we're kind of, I mean, these new characters, the two new squads that we're gonna have, I have a very difficult time believing that the new raid is not going to involve them in some way. You can see I put Peridia in like a lull right next to Peridia, but I do think that there's a Peridia good chance that it's going to be that planet, or at least something involving the Glat team and the Balin team. And so honestly, yeah, start, like, if you need to finish up something for the current raid, I guess do it. You know, your guild might be pushing you to finish them anyways. The Gungan squad is consistently extremely strong. Apparently it can beat Proving Grounds Malgus at 3 stars. Someone was telling me that the other day. So Gungans are still good, but yeah, I guess help your guild a little bit. But honestly, it's about time to stop working on the Naboo raid and start looking, citing what's ahead. We don't know what's going to happen. But so what's safe to farm? Here are the teams that I use to get 10.8 million every time. You have to get Relic 8 on all of them, and so maybe you don't want to do it that way, but it makes it really easy. Like, you just put Ki-Adi-Mundi with Luminara, really easy fight at that point. And then throw Shaak Ti in with Queen Amidala, but then let Keller and Beck be the lead. And guys, I don't fail on this. I do 4 runs, and it's still not fun to do. They still take a while sometimes, but I don't fail on this. That, like, the one failure point, I guess, would be sometimes Luminara, very rarely. I think I've failed like once in the last 5 runs or something, and so that this is very consistent. It's pretty easy. Maybe I'll try to do a video on it. I mean, it's almost past the time to do it, but this is a fairly easy run, and so this is what I do to get 10.8. I know not everyone's going to get there, but these are the easiest teams that you don't have to use RNG. Like, guys, stop doing the 3-man Queen Amidala team and trying to get 3.6. Like, stop hating your life. Stop hating yourself. Like, love yourself enough to stop doing that. It's a headache and it's awful. Seriously. Staying relevant, Rise of the Empire. Not many updates for Rise of the Empire here. Just one thing to point out, that Luthen and the Great Mothers are going to be really great for those Sector 3, or those Phase 3 nodes. They're really good. They're strong, they're good, they're gonna help make them more consistent, and so work on those if you have the desire to. The new Soul Battle, I keep saying I'm gonna take this out. Guys, this squad is good. It keeps being good. It's gonna continue to be good, and even if it's not great, where else are you gonna get those droid brains or the keypads for free? You just get 5 of them for free, and then you get a refresh that's a fairly good deal for another 5 of one of those, and as far as I can tell, it's fairly random on which one you get. I've only rolled the keypads. Several other people I've talked to are complaining, which is crazy to me, that they've only gotten droid brains. I've gotten like 5 or 6 batches of the keypads. Go figure. But one way or another, guys, this is a really great way to kind of catch up and it's a great way to not have to spend all your resources on or your time resources on stuff, because it's a sim button. It's a sim button. You simply hit sim, and then it's done. Wonderful content if it's simmable, and it is. So, all right, the big question that we have, folks, the big question of our age is, which unlock do we want? Do we want Ahsoka? Do we want Balin? And so the Ahsoka requirements, we know for sure that we have the 3 troopers, the Imperial Remnant things. Those are requirements. Balin's skull. We have the Great Mothers, like the Night Sisters, and then we have the 2 mercenaries. And yes, I realize that Thrawn's part of the requirements. People keep saying, like, hey, you realize Thrawn's part of the requirements for Balin. Yes, I friggin' know that, guys. Obviously, he's just been around for so long that I just left him off. Just like I'm not listing General Skywalker or Snips for the requirements for GL Ahsoka. Everyone has those. Go work on them. So, like, stop reminding me in comments. Get off my porch. Or lawn. Or both. The question is, who else is required for Galactic Legend Ahsoka? It seems like a stretch that Sabine, in some way, shape, or form, wouldn't be on her team. Frankly, it seems like if we're gonna just use 3 characters that are kind of just recycled from previous escapades of Ahsoka, I'll just be very surprised and a little let down. Not that I really want them to continue this ridiculous rate of releasing characters, but I do think that it would make sense that Ahsoka would have her own team rather than just, oh, hey, it's just Ezra. Like, that's it. That's the whole team. It seems crazy to me. So, the problem is, Galactic Legend Ahsoka has some problems. Glat has problems, guys. We don't know her full requirements yet. Like I just said, will she have new characters for a new squad? We're not sure. We know that if she does require new characters, they're not going to be farmable for over 2 months, probably like 3 months. If there's going to be like 2 new characters, it's going to be like they're going to have to release them over the course of throughout October probably, and then they'll start being farmable sometime in like January or something. And then if they're not Cantina farms, you're looking at like a 1.5 to 2 month farm, even if you're just really trying to speed your way through. So it's problematic because the new characters would stop you from, if you're free to play, if you're paying money for these, then the equation just changes. Like, you could just get her as soon as she unlocks, all of that stuff. But if we're looking at just a farmable, for free, mostly free, whatever character, then you're gonna have to wait for a long time, guys. The wait, we don't even know when she'll be available to farm, honestly. And honestly, the other big thing here, folks, is even if you get her, if you buy all the new characters, I mean, they're not terrible, but Imperial Remnants are kind of a broken team, and a lot of them just, like the best current Great Mother team actually just has the new Imperial Remnants in that team. I don't know if that's going to continue to be the case, but because they put Night Sisters tag on a couple of those characters, they just suddenly, because they're newer, by virtue of being new and not being Night Sister, a friggin' initiative, horrible character and kit, they're in the squad instead. So, take it as you will. The squad isn't complete. If they say that they've apparently spoiled Galactic Legend Thrawn. I don't know much about that, but if they have, I mean, it's not a surprise, right? Like, he's probably going to be here eventually. Then they'll probably not even be a complete team. Like, they don't even make 2 complete Remnants teams. They're just kind of in an awkward, weird place. They're not going to be good until Thrawn gets here, and I hope Thrawn doesn't come at the same time as Ahsoka or something. Maybe that's what they're waiting for. They'll announce Thrawn, and he'll be the second half of the requirements. I don't know. It's weird. But Balin, however, he's got... People have been telling me, like, of course, Zareth, you're definitely not going for Balin. I absolutely am. More and more, I think it makes way more sense. Because, first off, his requirements right now give him 2 full teams. Yes, some of the Night Sisters probably suck. The pictures that I just showed you here, guys, are not probably the optimized teams. I'm just speculating, but Balin requires mercenaries. They're all over the place throughout our roster. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But then we also have Night Sisters. You get 2 of them. Great Mothers are an amazing team. They have great in their name, and there's a reason for it. They have Organ. We have all the other Night Sisters that maybe you don't have worked on, but I mean, if you bought the Night Sisters Lightspeed bundle, then you have them at Relic 3, and if not, I mean, they don't cost Chirotech. They're so old they don't require Chirotech. So, first off, we know that we have 2 teams, and they're actually good. We also know that he's on a timeline. Merrick has been released. He's going to be farmable in the next 2 months, which means we could probably get them all done and farmed in the next 4 months, maybe 3 if we just really super duper hustle when Merrick gets around. And, like I said before, Ahsoka, if she gets new characters, she won't be farmable or obtainable for another 3 months at least. Well, those characters won't even be farmable for another 3 months at least, not to mention how long it takes to farm them. Finally, Balin's squad is also going to be really important. It's the future, guys. They keep releasing squads that are mixed, right? Like, we have Starkiller, we have Jabba, we have the Ufu team with Malicos and Seer, like that. This is the next mixed team. At least that's what it looks like. It looks like mercenary stuff is going to be paramount to our success with the team, and that's what we're going to be working on anyways. Like, that's the next big thing, and Balin is the one who has it. I'm sure that Ahsoka is going to be great, folks. Her team will end up being better than Balin's. I'm sure that that's true. However, I think the necessity of Balin's everything is going to be, it's going to be more urgent. We're going to want his team, and so how to prioritize these things, folks. So first, as always, the raid is the most important, right? We want the raid. The problem is, the new raid, raid characters, yes, prioritize them. I think, though, the twist is, and I kind of spoiled it-ish already, but the idea is the new characters are the new raid characters. I think you should be farming them and working on them, at least planning around them, because the new raid characters are what's going to be important. They're the things that ensure we get our quote-unquote like paycheck in terms of like we need that foundational gear, right? Like we need that stuff we get from raids. It's paramount to our success. And so we need to be working on the new raid characters. And I think it's been spelled out for us which are the new raid characters. They don't have time to create a new raid with completely new mechanics and new stuff. We're going to get a new raid, and it's going to be all of the Peridia characters, I think. That's my prediction, at least. It seems, unless they extend how long out the new raid is, I just don't think there's a time frame for them to release new raid characters that are exclusive to that don't touch on the Galactic Legend Ahsoka / Balin Skull unlock event. So that's my take on it, at least. So as you're getting as new characters are released, I would just recommend, guys, even if you're not working on Galactic Legend Ahsoka specifically right now, I would just work on them slowly anyways. Just don't do a refresh, just do 5 at a time, unless you want to do faster, like my main account can afford the crystals to do that, but just farm them passively, get 5 a day. Do 5 runs a day, and then eventually they'll be farmed, and you'll be ready to get them ready. These ones are way less of a priority because the new characters that haven't been released yet or aren't farmable yet, they're going to be on a much tighter farming schedule. And so right now, do yourself a favor and farm the stuff that's already out. All right, please. And maybe start working on Night Sisters or something, because the Great Mothers seem like they're going to be amazing even after their Datacron is gone, and I think they're going to be pretty good. The next Datacron set is also, by the way, going to be ridiculous. So speaking of Datacrons, folks, it's the last thing we discussed today. I would be shocked out of my mind, like literally would not have a mind anymore, if CG didn't have Mercenaries as the next Datacron set, because Balin is probably going to be released pretty soon, right in time for the new Datacron set, and we'll be able to play all the mercenary things. And yes, I'm sure the Balin team is going to have the lion's share of amazing Datacrons. I'm sure that's how it's going to be. However, beyond all of that, we get a ton of factions, and CG always releases lesser characters for other factions, and then there's the good level 3 stuff, level 3 and level 6 stuff for that faction as well. We're going to want to do that. There's bounty hunters, there's Jedi, there's scoundrels and smugglers, and all kinds of things, guys. Rebels. So just keep those things in mind. We're probably going to end up with some good mercenary crons, and just as a heads up, the other part is we don't have any good dark side crons. They're all gonna go away once set 16 dusts, and good riddance to 16, by the way. But when 18 comes around, we're going to, unless you're a Night Sister or an Imperial Remnant team, which is a very rare thing on a dark side roster, that's like 2 teams total, then all dark side teams are gonna need new Datacrons for this coming set. And I know some people don't want to engage in Datacrons. That's fine, don't do it. I don't care at this point. But just as a warning for people who don't want to not engage in Datacrons, it's an important thing to be able to we're gonna be scrambling, so get ready, hold on to your butts. It's gonna be a scramble to get all of the Datacrons that we need in for set 18. We're due for a crazy set. This is gonna be a crazy set, mark my words. Now, other farms, there's links in the video description to all these other things. We're going to be making a new Omicron ranking video here probably pretty soon. A lot of people asking for that, so we'll be working on that probably in a couple of weeks, is my guess. But one way or another, folks, that's it. What do you think should be farmed? What shouldn't be farmed? Is Balin actually just really dumb to farm, and we should only work on Ahsoka? I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xerath prevails, and I hope you do too. Take care, folks.